The show must go on. Terrible changes are on the horizon for Disney World next year, but we're going to make sure your trip still happens without a hitch. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Disney World has announced some really exciting changes for 2025, but in the same breath, they've also hit us over the head with some not so exciting changes that we're already dreading. But here's the good news. We already know about these changes in the works, meaning we got plenty of time to prepare and brace ourselves for them so they don't ruin those 2025 trips. Number one is Big Thunder Mountain closing for over a year. This is news that doesn't shock me per se, but it still took me off guard when it was finally announced. So, Frontierland. It's got a lot going on, right? Cars Land is in the works. The Liberty Square Riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island are slated to close. Country Bear Jamboree was recently updated to Country Bear Musical Jamboree. The Shootin' Exposition closed to make way for a future DVC lounge. And Splash Mountain was rethemed to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Meanwhile, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad has just been sitting there, minding its own business, watching all this construction and all these updates happening around it until now. Disney announced on the Disney World website that Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will be closing for a long time, as in starting January 6th, 2025, and not opening again until sometime in 2026. Big Thunder Mountain, what are you doing in there? Frontierland is a mess and we need you now more than ever. The message on the Disney site also notes that when it finally does reopen, it'll bring with it a little bit of new magic. What does that mean? I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool if we received some of the same updated effects like Disneyland's version of Big Thunder Mountain had about 10 years ago. After all, the closure timeline seems to align with it, since Big Thunder and Disneyland closed for added magic back in January 7th, 2013, and didn't reopen until March of 2014. But beyond just knowing that we're going to have to say so long for now to the wildest ride in the wilderness, we really don't know what Disney's got up their sleeves here beyond just our ponderings and predictions. Just as long as they don't close People Mover in 2025, I think we will all survive this. But if you ever want to double check on a ride status before your trip to make sure the ride you're anticipating will actually be up and running by the time you get there, check on the attraction's main page via the Disney World website. And Disney's going to let you know up top in bright orange lettering whether an attraction is expected to undergo lengthy refurbishments or reimaginings or the like. Much like we're seeing with Big Thunder, Disney announced this closure months before it actually is due to happen, giving folks plenty of time to adjust their 2025 Magic Kingdom itineraries as needed. And for those who are still planning on going to Magic Kingdom toward the end of 2024, you've still got that last chance to ride this mountain coaster before it takes its sabbatical. By the way, while Disney hasn't announced a closure for the Walt Disney World Railroad in Magic Kingdom yet, it also wouldn't surprise me if they did, eventually, in the wake of all this Frontierland and beyond Frontierland construction. Why am I predicting this? Well, back when Disney World was busy building Tron Light Cycle Run in Tomorrowland, the Walt Disney World Railroad was forced to close for an extended period of time. We're talking 4 years, because Disney ended up having to rearrange some of the train tracks to accommodate the new coaster. Also, you couldn't have people kind of riding through there when it was a construction zone. So it's very likely that all the new Magic Kingdom construction could potentially close the train again, especially since that stretch of Frontierland track seems to be smack dab within the Villains Land and Cars Land areas to be. While we haven't heard any official closures for it yet, we'll make sure to let you know if and when it is announced so you can plan your trip accordingly. But for now, enjoy that leisurely locomotive ride while it's still chugging along in the park. We're not gonna make it! We're not gonna make it! Hey, you made it! Sorry, just gotta squeeze that quote into any and all scripts for the foreseeable future while it's still relevant, because in 2025, we're officially gonna start witnessing the extinction of Dinoland USA in Animal Kingdom. But let's make this a good news / sad news sandwich to help soften the blow a little. I'm gonna start with a slice of good news, slather on that sad news in the middle there, and then finish this sandwich off with another slice of good news. So, good news first. The reason Dinoland USA is slated to close is because Animal Kingdom's reimagining the entire area into a whole new area called Pueblo Esperanza. It's a Tropical Americas themed section, which is going to feature Encanto and Indiana Jones themed attractions. Now I'm going to be real here. I am stoked for this. Yeah, I'm gonna miss the whimsy and nostalgia attached to Dinoland. I have always been a Dinoland devotee. I've always been a fan of Dinoland. I've fought for that land. I've seen how very cool and Imagineering centric it is. I get it, Joe Rohde. But I am excited for Pueblo Esperanza. When the new land is completely finished by 2027, there'll be a ride through Casa Madrigal, an Indiana Jones ride, and a carved wooden carousel featuring tropical animals that are just absolutely beautiful and kind of look like your favorite Disney characters. There'll also be at least one restaurant and other attractions too, including a large fountain where stories will be told by gathering villagers. The tropical Americas are home to the largest biodiversity on Earth, so it's likely we'll see some amazing details from these areas too. So here's where the sad news comes into play. The last day for Triceratops Spin, Fossil Fun Games, and Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures will be January 12th, 2025. Construction walls will go up around these areas on January 13th. So if you want to experience them before they're gone for good, you're going to have to squeeze in one last trip to Animal Kingdom soon. And now the pièce de résistance, the last good news slice. At the time of this recording, Dinosaur, the Boneyard, Restaurantosaurus, Dinobite Snacks, and Trilobites are staying open for now. So you very well could still experience these sections of the park later next year before they close up shop too. Even in 2024, we're already starting to feel the sting of price spikes for next year's Disney World vacations. And if you're sitting there thinking, AJ, you've covered this type of point thoroughly in your past videos. Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? Trust me, this is not a topic I want to hit you over the head with, but I never want you to be blindsided by these costly upticks, and we keep getting more and more and more. They really can throw off your entire vacation budget if you're not careful. Each year, Disney announces updated prices for theme park tickets, and we always do the math to find out which days got more expensive, which days got cheaper, and which didn't change at all. What our research told us this year is that overall, the price range of tickets will go up in 2025. In 2024, the starting prices ranged from $109 to $164, but in 2025, the starting prices will be between $119 and $169. And that's not just for those standard park tickets. Park hopper tickets are also increasing in price. Now, going through month by month, day by day, to show you all the ticket price differences between 24 and 25 is going to turn me into just spouting off a bunch of numbers at you. Nobody likes numbers. But our awesome DFB team created a detailed visual list of all these ticket changes for the entire year, as well as marking the few days that are actually going to see ticket price decreases in 2025. So if you want to check those lists out yourself, I'll link the DFB post from our website down in the description for you. A new Lightning Lane recently went live on the Disney World scene, but don't get too excited about it yet because it's a doozy. Lightning Lane Premier Pass allows you to pay one fee for all the Lightning Lanes included in one park. Multi-pass and single-pass Lightning Lanes included. This pass really does make things more convenient when you want to use Lightning Lanes because you don't have to worry about selecting reservation times to get in line or stress over whether or not a Lightning Lane is going to completely book up before you get the chance to snag it yourself, allowing you to show up for a ride whenever it fits best into your schedule and giving you a whole lot more flexibility. So, I want you to take a wild guess and tell me what you think the downside of this new system is. Because I betcha, even if you've never heard of Premier Pass before this very moment, that you already know the answer. It's the price tag. Shock, shock, surprise, surprise. First of all, Premier Pass can only be purchased by guests staying at a deluxe resort or villa hotel, as well as other select hotels like Swan and Dolphin, Swan Reserve, and Shades of Green. So this new perk won't be available to the general public or value and moderate resort guests, at least during the pilot phase. But even if you are eligible to purchase it, it comes with a hefty price tag. We're talking $129 to $449 per person per park. And that doesn't include your park tickets. That's on top of what you're already paying for park tickets. Now get this. While Premier Pass allows you access to any Lightning Lane attraction within your selected park, this is not an unlimited pass. So you'll only be able to ride each ride once with your uber expensive Lightning Lane. And then if you want to ride that attraction again, you got to stand in the regular line for it. That's bonkers logic to me. So how do we handle this new Lightning Lane Premier Pass now that it's entered into our lives? Easy. We simply don't. Now, I'm not saying this Lightning Lane is a bad idea for everyone. I think it could be worth it if you've got the money saved back for something like this, and you don't plan on coming back to Disney for a really long time. So the convenience factor will certainly come in handy. However, I just don't want any of you thinking that this is it. This is the only solution for cutting down on your ride waits from here on out, because it is not. Multi-pass and single pass are still alive and kicking and available for everyone to purchase. And while, yes, you will have to consider reservation schedules for each of those Lightning Lanes when using multi and single passes, the fact that you can pre-schedule Lightning Lanes before your trip helps you guarantee that you'll at least get your top priority options with your purchase. And if you don't see your top priority options available, then you don't have to pay for lightning lanes if you don't want them. There are other ways to cut down on your ride waits too, like using early theme park entry, going right at rope drop, visiting the parks during a non-peak season, or even waiting closer until the end of the night to jump in the queue lines. The point I'm trying to make here is that getting a premier pass is not going to make or break your trip. If you want one, by all means, budget and go for it. But if that's going to be too much of a financial stressor for you, then please, please, please don't let it worry you too much. You'll be fine without it, and we're going to make sure of that. For more lightning lane guidance, so you can decide before your trip if any of the passes are going to be the right fit for your group or not, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or head over to disneyfoodblog.com/lightning lanes, and we'll send over our free lightning lane guide straight to your email. So the days are numbered for our favorite Disney resort pool. Stormalong Bay, we're going to miss you. Oh, but not because it's going away for good. Yikes, now that would be beyond terrible. Nope, Stormalong Bay over at Yacht and Beach Club Resort is closing at the beginning of January next year, so it can undergo some routine maintenance. No biggie, right? Except that it's actually a very big deal because these closures for Stormalong Bay are going to last until June 2025. And you know how Disney construction goes. Sometimes it goes past the projected date. So if you were wanting to book a room at Yacht and Beach Club just for the privilege of using the resort's mini water park, but your trip falls into the first half of 2025, then it's time to consider Plan B, which is choose a different Disney resort that also has a really awesome feature pool to enjoy that will be staying open next year. Sure, the other resorts don't have Stormalong Bay's lazy river, sand bottom pool, but they do have other fun features. The Fuentes del Moro pool at Caribbean Beach Resort was recently refurbished this year and will be open for guests in 2025 with its cool colonial Spanish fortress theming, complete with water spring cannons and a shipwreck play area for the little ones. There are also 2 slides at this feature pool, plus it'll cost you less for a room here than it'll cost you to get a room at Yacht and Beach Club. Now, if you're still looking for the deluxe resort fancy living, the lava pool at Polynesian Village Resort is a good time too, since it's got a volcano-themed water slide, a tiki-themed splash pad, and easy access to Dole Whip at all times, thanks to the nearby Pineapple Lanai window. And let's not forget Bria's personal favorite pool, the Lost City of Cibola pool at the moderate-level Coronado Springs Resort. At this pool, you're going to be able to experience a 50-foot pyramid setting among Mayan ruins with a 123-foot-long stone jaguar water slide and, drumroll please, the largest hot tub in all of Disney World. And don't forget, other hotels exist outside the Disney bubble that also have mini water park-like areas in their hotel backyards, including the Grove Resort and Water Park Orlando, Holiday Inn Resort Orlando Suites Water Park, Four Seasons Resort Orlando. Even Evermore Orlando Resort has a 20-acre complex filled with 17 million gallons of chlorinated water. It's like a giant lake pool and a 2/3 mile stretch of waterfront space with a sandy beach. But before we move on, there is one more pool closure I need you to be aware of for next year, and that's the Fantasia pool over at All Star Movies. This pool is going to be getting a nice bout of TLC from January 2025 to April 2025, so a shorter closure than Stormalong Bay, but still impactful if you're planning on staying during the early winter or spring season. That being said, while it's closed, you can still swim in the Duck Pond pool, as well as the feature pools at the neighboring All Star Resort hotels. Cheer up, Starshine. I know you're still feeling glum about the Stormalong Bay closures, but what if I make you another good news, sad news sandwich to help take your mind off things? First, gotta start with a slice of good news. Disney World has announced that in 2025, those staying at a Disney hotel, and I'm talking any Disney hotel, Values and Disney Vacation Club included, will receive free tickets to the water parks for their group to use on their hotel check-in day. That's a really hearty slice of good news right there, and might help fill the aching hole in your heart left over from the Stormalong Bay closure. But now, we gotta spread that sad news like peanut butter across bread. Now, peanut butter's never sad news. Maybe the sad news is like liverwurst. Yeah, that's what we're spreading. There are a lot of factors that we might turn a blind eye towards when it comes to this hotel perk, simply because it's free. But let's not forget that A, you can use this perk on your check-in day and your check-in day only. You can only use it for one water park, either Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach, whichever is open during your visit. And since it's only one water park funneling in all the folks checking into their Disney hotels, which, for the record, Disney owns over 25 hotels, we're bound to see an influx of water park crowds that we haven't seen before. So, how should you go about using your hotel perk to make sure you get the most out of your free water park day? First, arrive early. Though hours are subject to change, usually Disney's water parks open each day around 10 a.m. Much like the theme parks, if you're able to rope drop the water parks, then you should get a pretty nice head start on all your adventures that day and knock out the most popular water rides first thing before the lines get too outrageous by the afternoon. Remember, your room doesn't have to be ready yet if you want to go on over and start enjoying the water slides and the lazy rivers and the wave pools. You're more than welcome to drop off your luggage at your hotel's bell services desk and make a beeline to the water parks to get on with your fun-filled day. Second, consider driving or flying into Orlando before your check-in day. This free perk means that arriving in the Disney bubble sooner rather than later is going to be of the utmost importance on that first day. If you're driving, figure out what time you'll need to wake up and hit the road to make it to a Disney water park right at rope drop. You might not even have to take all your stuff over to your hotel's bell services that morning if you can keep it inside your car instead, unless there are things in your luggage that you don't want getting all nice and toasty during your water park day. It might benefit you to even arrive in or just outside the Orlando area the night before your Disney Resort check-in day, just to make that next morning drive a whole lot easier on you. But I get it, so AJ, I have to pay for a hotel the night before so I can get the free water park ticket the next day. No, I get it. I totally understand. Definitely crunch the numbers. And third, decide if you want to stay in a Disney resort later on in your trip instead. If the cards just aren't ever going to play in your favor for arriving to Orlando early, you might want to spend the first half of your trip at a cheaper hotel and then transfer over to a Disney World hotel halfway through, so you'll already be in Orlando when your Disney hotel check-in day comes around. Or you could double dip on a Disney hotel stay to get 2 free water park days. Yep, sounds like you're cheating the system, but it's totally legal. If you have a split stay in 2025, you'll be able to use that complimentary water park admission on both of your check-in days. That being said, if one water park day is still more than enough for you, but you're still planning on doing a Disney Resort split stay, choose to use the free water park perk on your second check-in day instead of your first. That way, you'll already be in the Disney bubble and can fully take advantage of getting to the water park right at opening without any potential flight delays getting in your way. And since we're on the subject of crowd upticks, let's talk about one resort that's sure to get a surge of foot traffic next year: Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. On December 17th, 2024, yep, this year, Polynesian Village's new Disney Vacation Club building, the Island Tower, will finally open its doors for guests. And while the new rooms and pool area will be reserved for Polynesian Village Resort guests only, anyone will still be able to swing by the tower itself to check out the new theming around the lobby and eat at the Wailulu Bar and Grill, which is a casual walk-up pool bar and grill that'll feature an all-day menu for lunch and dinner. There'll also be specialty coffee and on-the-go morning pastries available for breakfast. So here's the thing. The Polynesian Village can already get kind of busy throughout the day just because it's super easy to get to when you're already at Magic Kingdom or Epcot or one of the other Magic Kingdom area hotels. All you gotta do is hop on the monorail or on a boat if you're over at the Magic Kingdom, and off you go. So my prediction is, with the new tower opening up, lots of curious folks might still be swinging on by this resort while they're in the neighborhood just to see what all the fuss is about. So when should you potentially go visit the Island Tower and maybe have a better chance at dining at Wailulu Bar and Grill when the demand isn't so high? That sweet spot in the afternoon, after the typical lunch rush but before the dinner rush, might prove to have lighter crowds for you to navigate. While I can't 100% determine that's going to be the case for Wailulu for sure until the tower officially opens up, we found that time frame to be pretty common sweet spot for a lot of Disney's dining experiences, if we're wanting fewer crowds, more table space, and a lot less chaos. Oh, speaking of crowds, again, Main Street USA's nighttime crowds are going to be much worse. Wait, really? Is there really a way for Main Street USA's nighttime crowds to be busier than they already are? Well, I'm not sure if busier is the right word for it, more like the Main Street USA nighttime crowds will be around for a longer stretch of time each night, and that's because of the new Starlight Nighttime Parade that's going to be making its big debut in the summer of 2025. Nope, the new parade is not bad news to us in the slightest. We're so ready for Magic Kingdom to have a nighttime parade again, and Starlight sounds awesome with its promise of illuminated floats themed around the Blue Fairy and Encanto and Frozen and Peter Pan and more. But the thing we're not looking forward to are the crowds down Main Street USA that are going to congregate for this one. Back when Main Street Electrical Parade used to be around in Magic Kingdom, we'd often see this one run once or twice in the evenings, depending on the park's demand. But whenever it ran twice, typically one parade would happen before the Castle Nighttime Spectacular, and another would happen after. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to be the same with Starlight or not, but if it is, that might mean staked out spots for Happily Ever After are going to start filling up even earlier for those who plan on seeing the first parade of the night, and that means you're going to want to stake out your spot earlier too, possibly 30 minutes before Starlight begins. It's like an arms race. It also means that if you want to leave the park before the fireworks begin to get the kids to bed at a decent hour and avoid the Magic Kingdom end of night chaos, you might want to do that before the first parade, since the end of night crowds could very well congregate a whole lot earlier once the parade kicks off next year. With that being said, if Starlight follows the same suit as Main Street Electrical, or even the same suit as the holiday parades that currently happen during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, then there's a good possibility that if/when a second Starlight show happens after the fireworks, then this will be the show you want to attend for lower crowd levels. As history has proven itself time and again, the second showtimes for Disney's nighttime entertainment tend to have lighter crowds, since many folks like to attend the first one, watch the fireworks, and get out of Dodge. However, if you don't mind lingering in the park a little longer, even after a super long Disney day, you could very well be rewarded with better show views and fewer guests pop in your personal bubble. So hopefully you won't have to cancel your Disney hotel reservation next year for whatever reason, but if you do, you will need to know about the slightly stricter cancellation policy that's about to be put in place. According to Disney's new policy, guests who have room-only Disney World hotel reservations for 2025 can cancel their reservations up to 8 days before their arrival without penalty. Prior to 2025, hotel reservations could be canceled up to 5 days before to avoid penalty, so this new change is going to be more restrictive for Disney World hotel guests, taking away 3 days that used to be allocated in that cancellation window. Now, if you cancel 0 to 7 days out from your reservation, your deposit, the cost of a one-night stay, will be forfeited, so make sure you keep this in mind when booking your 2025 trip. As for vacation packages, rest assured that those cancellation policies won't change. These packages, which include a room and park tickets, can be canceled up to 30 days out from your arrival date for a full refund. From 2 to 29 days, you can cancel but will be penalized a $200 cancellation fee. Prices are subject to change. And keep in mind that if you cancel the day before or on the day of your arrival, the penalty is a complete forfeiture of the entire package cost. As was the case in 2024 and years prior, changes to a package that includes a hotel stay will impact the entire package. So you just can't cancel the hotel room if you're canceling a package. With all that being said, Disney does alter their cancellation policies during times when severe weather, like a hurricane, is impacting the area. So if you want to learn more about what that might look like if you happen to be traveling between June and November, check out our How to Survive Hurricane Season and Severe Weather in Disney World video when you get the chance. Now here's one more good news slice for you to chew on. No matter what terrible or even terrific changes are introduced onto the Disney World scene next year, as well as all the years to come, we're going to be right there alongside you to help you navigate through the good, the bad, and the sad news sandwiches. So keep checking back here with us, and don't forget to pick up your free Lightning Lane guide over at disneyfoodblog.com/multipass. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.